I believe nothing quite compares to the smell of freshly baked waffles in the morning. A perfect waffle should have a golden, crispy exterior, a soft, airy inside, and those deep squares just begging to be filled with maple syrup and a pat of melting butter. Americans spend nearly $1 billion every year on frozen waffles. Hundreds of millions of them are produced and consumed across the United States. These crispy treats don't come from restaurant kitchens. They're made in industrial factories, on production lines that never stop running. So what's really inside those mass-produced waffles? And how have food corporations turned liquid batter into a multi-billion-dollar breakfast industry? Let's explore inside the frozen waffle factories. Waffles actually have a long and fascinating history. It all began in ancient Greece, where people used two red-hot iron plates clamped over a fire to make thin, crisp cakes that carried the aroma of toasted flour. Centuries later, the Dutch improved the design, adding long handles to avoid burns and engraving deep patterns into the surface, giving waffles the familiar grid shape we know today. Still, burnt waffles and scorched cooks were a common problem. Until 1869, when Cornelius Swartwout, an American breakfast enthusiast, invented a hinged, rotating waffle iron that could sit right on the stovetop. His invention sparked a true breakfast revolution, laying the foundation for the modern waffle makers used around the world today. The factory covers more than 310,000 square feet, an enormous facility by any measure. The machines here can produce up to 19,000 waffles every hour. For each batch, the factory prepares a wide range of ingredients, sometimes as many as 35 different ones per recipe, including flour, water, oil, and other components like melted chocolate. It all starts with the dry ingredients. Flour, the foundation of every waffle. The factory typically uses finely sifted white flour to create a smooth and consistent texture. With its higher protein content, this flour develops enough gluten to give the waffle structure and a slight chew. However, flour alone can make the waffle denser and tougher than desired. To keep the texture light, airy, and not overly chewy, a small amount of cornstarch is blended in. Cornstarch helps reduce gluten formation without compromising the structure, creating waffles that are crisp on the outside yet soft and tender inside. The golden ratio is 10 pounds of all-purpose flour to 1 pound of cornstarch, the perfect balance for achieving that ideal waffle texture. In waffle factories, you won't see workers cracking eggs one by one like in a home kitchen. Instead, they use pasteurized liquid whole eggs that have been thoroughly beaten, filtered, and packed into large containers weighing between 44 and 55 pounds. This form of egg keeps the process cleaner and more precise, as it can be pumped directly into the mixing tanks through automated dosing systems. The egg supply usually comes from local facilities that specialize in processing and pasteurizing fresh eggs. Production begins when trucks loaded with eggs arrive at the plant. Once received, the eggs are taken to a section called the transfer room, where trays of eggs are unloaded, placed on conveyor belts, and sent through the egg washer. After washing, each egg is inspected for cracks or dirt. Cracked and leaking eggs are discarded for use as animal feed, while dirty ones are sent back through the washer until they come out clean or break. As they pass through the next section, the eggs go through a sanitizing solution. Each machine in this area can handle about 35,000 eggs per hour. After sanitizing, the eggs move to the cracking machines. These machines open the shells, letting the yolk drop into an upper cup while the white drains around it into a lower one. The spoon-like divider catches the yolk, separating it from the white. All holding tanks are refrigerated and continuously agitated to keep the mixture uniform. Next, the liquid eggs are sent to the pasteurization unit, where temperature and time are carefully controlled to kill harmful bacteria without cooking the product. The result is pure pasteurized liquid eggs, which flow directly from the pasteurizer into sealed storage bags and boxes, ready to be shipped to food manufacturers, including frozen waffle factories. And chances are, the scrambled or fried eggs you eat at a restaurant also come from the same kind of pasteurized liquid eggs stored in large containers. Back inside the factory, the process continues in the mixing area, where every ingredient is measured with precision. Dry additives such as baking powder, baking soda, salt, flavorings, and stabilizers are pre-weighed and prepared according to a fixed formula. In the main mixing tank, the process begins with water being pumped in first, followed by vegetable oil to create the liquid base. Next, the dry ingredients, flour, cornstarch, and the additive blend, are added, along with pasteurized liquid eggs, and finally, buttermilk. Buttermilk is a classic ingredient in pancakes, and it works beautifully for waffles too. Its natural acidity reacts with the baking powder, making the waffles rise higher, turn lighter, and develop a pleasant tangy flavor. However, that same acidity also weakens gluten formation, which can make the waffles slightly less crisp. To balance this, factories often add whole milk, rich in protein and fat, which restores structure and adds creaminess to the batter. All ingredients are blended together in massive industrial mixers equipped with rotating paddles that run continuously, producing a thick batter with a viscosity of around 1,000 to 2,000 centipoise. Just the right consistency for pouring. The mixing system is also designed to eliminate large air bubbles, ensuring each batch of batter is perfectly smooth and uniform before heading to the next stage. Once the batter reaches the right smoothness and viscosity, it's pumped into cooling tanks. Inside, large paddles rotate continuously, keeping the mixture gently moving to prevent separation or settling. This constant motion helps maintain a perfectly uniform texture. These tanks act as temporary holding stations, where the batter is kept at a stable temperature, fresh, consistent, and ready for the next stage of production. Next, we move into the baking area. Along the production line, hundreds of pairs of waffle iron plates are arranged in a continuous circular conveyor system. Each plate is made from stainless steel or cast iron coated with an industrial-grade nonstick layer, built to withstand high heat and endure years of heavy-duty use. The surface of each mold is engraved with deep grooves, about 5 to 7 millimeters, forming the signature honeycomb pattern of a waffle. Depending on the product type, the molds can be round, square, or rectangular, designed for different waffle varieties. Before the batter is poured, an automated oil spray system coats both sides of the plates with an ultra-thin layer of oil. This not only prevents sticking, but also helps reduce scorching when the batter meets the intense heat of the baking process. Once the molds are ready, they move to the depositing station, the point where the batter is poured. Here, computer-controlled nozzles dispense a precise amount of batter, usually between 2.0 and 3 fluid ounces per waffle. Sensors and alignment systems ensure the batter lands perfectly in each mold, preventing overflow or spills onto the conveyor. This automated line can fill more than 19,000 waffles per hour, synchronized perfectly with the conveyor's movement. Immediately after the batter is deposited, the conveyor vibrates gently, or the molds shake slightly side to side for about 1 to 2 seconds, allowing the batter to spread evenly and fill every groove of the honeycomb pattern. This ensures the waffles bake uniformly, with no large air pockets or hollow spots inside. Then, the top mold lowers and clamps down, sealing the batter inside. Heat is applied from both sides at around 397 degrees Fahrenheit, typically generated by gas burners. Under this intense heat, the batter expands as steam forms, creating tiny air pockets within. In just 3 minutes, the outside turns golden and lightly crisp, while the inside stays soft, moist, and fragrant. When the baking cycle is complete, the conveyor carries the molds to the release station. Here, pneumatic cylinders gently lift the top plates, separating the two heated surfaces. Instantly, the freshly baked waffles drop onto the conveyor below. Right out of the molds, the waffles are still piping hot. Their surface temperature can reach 194 to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. To prevent steam from condensing and making them soggy, the waffles are immediately transferred to the multi-tier cooling conveyor, a stacked system of slow-moving belts arranged in multiple layers. Each tier moves at a steady pace, giving the waffles enough time to release steam and cool gradually in a natural airflow. Large fans positioned between the tiers blow consistent streams of cool air, helping to dissipate heat evenly from all sides. By the end of the cycle, the waffle's temperature drops to around 95 to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, cool enough to handle without losing internal moisture. At this stage, the texture has stabilized. The exterior is lightly crisp, while the inside remains soft, fluffy, and free of trapped steam. After cooling, the waffles move directly to the individual quick freezing area. Here, refrigerated conveyors carry them through an ultra-cold air tunnel, where the temperature is maintained at around -35 degrees Fahrenheit. In just about 5 minutes, the moisture on the waffle's surface freezes almost instantly. This rapid freezing process creates tiny ice crystals that don't damage the waffle's airy structure, allowing it to retain its signature softness, crispness, and aroma once thawed or toasted again. When the core temperature reaches 0 degrees Fahrenheit, the freezing process is complete. Along the conveyor, workers perform manual inspections, removing any waffles that are cracked, misshapen, or overly browned during baking. From here, the fully frozen waffles move on to the automated packaging area. At this station, robotic arms swiftly pick up each waffle and neatly arrange them into trays or bags according to the set quantity. Then, a heat sealing system wraps each package with a moisture-resistant protective film, creating an airtight seal that prevents steam and air from entering during storage and transport. Thanks to the quick freezing technology, these waffles can be stored in cold warehouses for 6 to 12 months without losing their shape, texture, or flavor. When reheated, they still release that rich, buttery aroma and maintain the same crisp yet soft bite, just like they were freshly baked. Thanks to their sturdy structure and signature grid design, waffles can handle just about anything, from chocolate and fruit to sprinkles and whipped cream. But if you're more of a classic type, a drizzle of maple syrup is really all you need. And that wraps up our journey behind the making of a waffle. But here's the real question. Is the waffle the perfect choice for your breakfast? You can top it with syrup, fruit, butter, or even crispy fried chicken. The possibilities are endless. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching Food Tech today, and we'll see you in the next episode.